Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the Arduous Moth. Today we'll be looking over some new vehicles. One you can see right now, I think it's a new vehicle. I don't think it's in the current version of the game, and if it is then I do apologise. But we're going to review it anyway because it looks like a good tank. It's basically the Leopard 2A4. It's it's basically that, but it's got better protection, and I think its gun reloads slightly faster. So the Leopard 2A4 Revolution has a 120mm. I think I know the name of the gun. It's a 120mm Remington L44 cannon. It says it takes 10 seconds here. I think that's the base reload. It takes 8.55 seconds when you got your crew completely 100% done up. 528 average damage per shot. 800mm of penetration. That's not the best penetration, but it is way up there against the tanks that have really super duper penetration. 3,700 damage per minute. That is amazing for this tank. And I apologize if I keep on going. There. The defense, it's all right. 3,400 hit points, 520mm of frontal hull armor. That's one thing I couldn't understand, is why the hull is actually stronger than the turret. But if you look at the turret, look at the slope of the turret, I don't think this is a weak spot. If we actually go into preview mode, no, it's not really it's not a weak spot at all. That lower glacier is going to be a weak spot. So get out of this. 200mm of side hull armor, 60 at the rear. You do have this protection here, but people just aim down here and just shoot you. It's combined, so I'm not entirely sure what that means. I think it's probably composite and some other classified armor, like the British tanks have classified armor. I don't really know what they are. 480mm of frontal turret armor. The turret's actually weaker than the hull. That's surprising. I think the turret is stronger on the Type 96B. 200mm of side turret armor, 65 at the rear. So it's just, you know, your standard main battle tank. Now, unfortunately, there's not many people playing the public test server, and that's a bit of a problem. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how to check it. It doesn't seem to be a lot of people. If I so. Go on the mobility, you can do 70, it takes 5.5 seconds to get up to 32 kilometers an hour. Not sure how long it takes to get up to the full 70 kilometers an hour. It weighs 64 tons. If I'm correct, that is heavier? If I look at this preview, it doesn't actually say how heavy it is. 33.6 degrees to turn this turret. That's a little sluggish, but you can't really have anything. It's not as slow as like the Challengers, but those are pretty slow at turning their holes. Utility, camouflage is 10%, so you're not really going to hide in this thing. 430 meter view range on the move. Pretty good actually. Targeting 10 degrees of gun depression at the front, 1 degree at the rear, just like the Abrams. The Abrams don't really have any gun depression at the rear, and that's a little bit disappointing. Accuracy is off the roof, 0.092. That's like 0.09 accuracy in water tanks. That would be incredibly insane. 1.58 second aim time. Now in water tanks, or in water tanks, that would be an incredibly fast aim time. But in here, that's actually a really sluggish late aim time actually. Top 6, 1.27. Falcon is actually slower, so the Challenger 1 Falcon obviously is going to have a really bad aim time. MX-10 RCR has slightly better. This has a really bad aim time. Obviously, artillery 4.96 aim time, 2 second aim time. So it's not that bad, but it doesn't feel quick. I mean, when you're driving this thing, it feels insanely quick, and then when you're driving this, 0.08 second aim time. You can't get better than that. 0.08 second aim time. This thing zooms in like an absolute beast. So, 42 degrees to turn the turret. I believe that's yeah, 42 degrees a second. So you're going to turn the turret really quick. So let's go into the armor viewer preview on my calculator. Let's pick a tank. What tier is it? It's tier 8, so give it tier 5s. Let's pick the, because I've been seeing a lot of these tanks. Yeah. If you've got more than, obviously you're going to have more than 270mm pen, you could go right through here. Donate for the turret. Oh. But you can aim, if you're very lucky shot, you can aim right here. And that will go right through. Now, if we make it further, say it's at that angle. Yeah, good luck with that. Now, can we get that 1500 back up? Yeah, 1500mm plus. It says you can pen, but nah, don't even bother. Now, if we get the Leopard 2A5, that has a better chance of penning. Let's use the heat. No, heat doesn't even touch it. That doesn't even touch it. Hit high explosive. Nah. This thing is insanely strong. M1A2 Abrams. Wow, the M1 actually struggles to actually pen this thing. Well, maybe it can pen here. And here. The upper lower plate, with the middle lower plate, you can sort of pen. You need to be a very good shot. What about artillery? It doesn't even care about artillery. I mean, of course, artillery's going to do damage. So, look at this tank, because let's just get rid of all that. That tank's not going to pen. MX-10 RCR, because this is a really nice tank of mine. Heat. Wow, the heat doesn't even touch it. High explainer. This thing is insanely strong for its tier. Very strong. That is a weak spot right there. I don't understand why that's a weak spot. Model? Oh, that explains why, because that is a hatch. That's what, the driver's hatch? So, what about tier 9s? Leopard 206. Okay, now it's actually starting to struggle. Tier 10s? Let's put it up against this thing. Oh, wow. ATGM. Wow, it actually whoa! Look at that protection against ATGM. So this is obviously chemical armor. The chemical protection is insanely. You gotta be joking me. 1500 plus millimeters of armor. What if it's like completely like I mean completely front on? It's still insanely bloody strong. I mean that it just won't do any damage. Where can you actually pen? You can still pen here. That's a weak spot. That's only 250 millimeter stake. What about PL01? That makes no bloody sense. The premium version of the premium Object 640 actually is better. By defense. Mobility. Flipping hell, it's good. Basically this thing is insanely strong for tier 8. It is just stupidly strong for tier 8. So the next thing we're going to look at is a tank that I think everybody's going to enjoy it being in. This thing. Now, one thing that's got me confused. It's got 530 millimeters of frontal turret armor, and yet it's composite. Armored Warfare. Can you make that steel? Because this tank didn't have composite armor when it was made. It was World War II tank. It was 100 mil. Yeah, it uses the SA-46. Pretty bloody sure it's the SA-47. No, the SA-47 is 120 mil, isn't it? Yeah, the SA-47 is a 120 millimeter. So, just give a warning out there, everything is subject to change. So all these stats most likely will change for these new tanks. So this thing has a 9 shot autoloader. Takes 13 seconds to reload the clip. I'm pretty sure that's going to be nerfed. Average damage 320, average pen 280, average damage per minute 2,900. This is tier 3, and it kicks everything in the arse. So let's go to the AMX 13B2, the premium. This thing looks awesome. Everybody, all the War Thunder fans out there will know what this is as the worst main battle tank in War Thunder. This thing gets 2 guns. It gets its main 105mm and it gets a 20mm. The 20mm had 90mm a pen. 90, I'm not even joking, 90mm pen. That's insane pen. defense. Now this is more like it. It's steel, so you're going to be very, very, very vulnerable to ATGMs. Hull is surprisingly strong at the front. Turret is alright. AMX 50, I think it needs a nerf, because that is insane. What is going to get through the front? I mean, for an example, I mean the IS-7 was insanely strong, and then it got nerfed, unfortunately. Object 279. This thing is just stupid. On console, I have to say, on console, it's a tier 4, and it has the same stats, and it's even more broken. So this thing, everybody whining on PC saying that this thing is overpowered, just think about what the people on console have to deal with when they meet this thing. This thing is broken. I mean, heat round. Okay, let's go into preview. Model. Yeah. Yeah, if you aim here, it's not going to do any damage. You might be able to hit there. Now let's get a competitive, I don't know, tier 4, because why not? Let's get the Brennus out. Wow. AP, no. Heat. Maybe 1,000 millimeters? And don't go for the side. You can only kill this thing from the back. Yeah. Let's get, oh, I know what, IS-7. The IS-7 can't really do anything. High explosive, nah. IS-7 can't do anything. Let's do it, like, say 30 meters away. Now let's pick the, how does it fare up against tier 10s? Wow, nope. Tier 10s chew right through it. Tier 6s? The tier 6s actually kind of struggle against it, actually. No, don't pick tier 5s. AMX 40. The AMX 40 actually, it can actually punch through this armor. So it's not insanely overpowered. But I mean, it's like this, right? I don't know, say you're in the M60, right? You meet this thing on console. Yeah. You're not going to pen it. You just will not go through. What about Hesh? Hesh might actually go through because Hesh doesn't care the angling. So with Hesh, you can actually have a chance of penning, actually. You can actually blow the ammo off this tank. Heat, no chance. Let's try this thing. $300, 310, nope. 310 doesn't work. Let's try this tank, because I love this tank. Hesh. Wow, this thing can actually pen the lower cheeks off the turret? Jesus. Oh yeah, that's the tank gone. That's scary. The shot cow Dalet will just destroy this thing. How much pen does the 210 millimeters of pen its Hesh has? That's just broken because it's a Centurion Mark 10. So MX50, you know, let's actually preview it. Oh, advance. No, thank you. Preview. Armor. Oh, okay. So you can punch right through its frontal armor. I mean, of course, if it's side scraping, don't shoot its frontal armor. Maybe at that angle, maybe. I don't understand why that is so incredibly strong at that angle. If this thing is hold down, aim for the cupola. So it's tier 3. Chieftain Mark 2. Wow, the Chieftain just destroys it. It just annihilates it. So I mean, it's not ridiculously overpowered, but that gun kind of needs a nerf. So next tank, the Brennus looks a bit derpy actually. Let's actually upgrade Brennus. ERA, yes please, yes please. Get that. Experimental grenades. So it's got a 105mm gun. Huh. A bull power. So basically you lose your main gun. That makes no blooming sense. So what does this thing look like with ERA? Oh wow, that thing actually looks pretty chunky. Let's actually have a look to see if anything can pen it. Armor calculate. Really? In War Thunder, this thing is rubbish. In here, wow. I mean, even without the ERA, it's still incredibly strong. I mean, from like 1,000 meters, from like a kilometer, this thing is going to bounce everything. But I mean, obviously, the engagement is going to be about 100 meters. This thing doesn't look that bad actually. I mean, it's just basically AMX 30. So it's not that bad. I mean, of course, it's still got the 20mm right there. 90mm pen, as usual. So let's move on to AMX 40. This thing just looks just ridiculous. Yeah, it gets a dozer blade at the front. So let's go into preview, armor calculator. This thing is just insane at the front as well. I mean, geez, wow. So just aim for the lower plate if you can see it. If you can see the lower plate, just aim for it. If you are further away than 450 meters, don't really bother to aim for its upper plate. If you can't see its lower plate, oh, that's a problem. Probably use heat to melt through this thing. So the MX-40, it's like, well, it's good, but it's not good enough for tier 5. 9 seconds with 105, that's like 120mm. The whole armor is quartz insert. Don't understand what that means, but okay. Chieftain Mark 11. Rolled plate armor. It's basically a Chieftain Mark 10. with insanely strong armor. I think I've already showed you this tank, but let's just see it again if I have. Yeah, you are not getting through that thing. If you use Hesh, I mean, of course, feel free to just demolish this thing from the front. You're gonna do the upper plate, do cupola and everything. Once you get over 1,000 meters, you're gonna just want to give up shooting from the front. Probably aim for the cupola, because that's a weak spot. I mean, of course, you're gonna do far less damage, but at least you're doing damage. Now, what was the other tank? There was another tank, I believe. If I was correct. That's coming soon. So basically, they are incredibly strong. So let's have a look at this thing. That looks a bit derpy actually. It carries. How does it carry 50 ATGMs? Missile volley. It has 2 missiles. Self-homing, no. 5 bonus. 15 rounds a minute. Not bad actually. Oh. Retreat. Acceleration 50, really? Okay. This thing looks amazing. So start with this one. Let's just take this out into the vehicle trading area just to show you guys what it's like. Because there's nobody playing. There's not really. There are people playing it. It's just it's not like, you know. Wow, this thing looks amazing.
Identify. Hostile tank.
The turret turns alright. Yeah, it feels kind of sluggish. Gun damage is, again, can't really fault it, but at the same time.
Target locked. Target lost.
It does less damage with the HE. Yeah, got copyright. It's high explosive, it's high explosive. Wow, it just destroyed everything in that time. So the high explosive.
Identify target. Hostile TP.
Oh, there you go.
Target locked on.
800 damage.
Enemy destroyed.
Best bet is to fling HE at everybody. I mean, that's just stupid.
Target destroyed.
So what's the heat like? That's what I'm curious about, because I know everybody likes to use heat.
Identify target. Hostile tank. Identify target. Hostile tank.
I mean, the heat. It's very quick for main that. Yeah, we can go through the lower plate, the lower plate, not the lower plate, but the lower plate. Upper plate, no. Turret, not really. But even though it doesn't pen, it's going to do damage. Wow. Even shoot the gun barrel.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
So let's just drive up. Wow, you can't even pen the front of a tier 7 level 2 AV. Not the upper plate, of course. The lower plate you can. Turret, wow, just don't shoot the turret. Oh wow.
No effect.
No, it's not gonna go through. What about oh. Okay, APFSDS is gonna go right through it. High explosive.
Target locked.
Yeah, that wasn't a full pen because it hit the engine. The pen tank just damaged the engine.
Target down.
This tank is
Identify target.
really good.
Hostile PC.
It looks like it's got enhanced armor on the top of the turret, so that's probably going to give it armor protection. Because it's obviously got far better armor protection than the Evolution. Wait, is that a spot we can pen? That's no way that's a spot we can pen. That is a spot we can pen.
Identify target.
So it doesn't feel super sluggish. Turning radius is a little bit for the amount of time. But it's alright.
Target locked on. Hostile PC.
Lacking damage slightly. I would like it if it did about like 600, 610, 500. Okay. I mean, this turn circle is not the best.
Turret destroyed.
It's also not very good at accelerating. So it's
Identify. Target locked. Hostile tank.
And it's basically a leopard 2A4 evolution. You're not going to really. I mean, look at that. You're not getting that much revolution.
Target's gone.
That's that for that tank. It's not the most maneuverable machine there, but at least it does its job. Now the next tank that we'll look at is the I think we should test drive the MX-50 next, just to show you how ridiculous this thing really is, because this thing is stupidly overpowered. Because when you think about it, you do an average damage of 320 per shell, you've got 9 of them. You take 5.5 seconds to
Identify. Hostile tank.
load the next shell into the chamber. You've got an insane armor that is unrealistic, because this thing basically has no armor.
Target locked on.
So let's do this. What about main bout tank? Shall we pen a main bout tank from the front? Because obviously this thing somehow fires APDS. Is it APDS? It is. Yes, APDS. APDS. You can! Just gotta take full shots before it's done. actual factor is the length between each shell. It's nearly 6 seconds. I like that actually because it's got insanely trolly armor at the front.
Identify target. Hostile PC. Target locked on.
I mean, shoot on the roof is no good. It's not the fastest.
Target's gone.
13 seconds to kill.
Target locked on.
It's absolutely insane.
Identify target. Hostile tank. Target's gone.
So basically,
Target locked on.
all you guys that know the AMX 5100 from one tanks know that it's got 6 shots
Target locked.
magazine.
Target locked.
In Armoured Warfare, it has the same 100mm gun, but it has 3 more shells. I think 3 seconds between each shell, so you gain something, but you lose something. But because this is an autoloader with incredibly strong armor,
Penetrated.
I mean, ATGMs, are they really going to work? Well, I mean, if you look at the tank at an angle like that, you might be able to punch through the frontal armor. Just don't shoot the front of the turret.
Target destroyed.
It's not going to go through at low tier. If you look at tier 2, no surprise. Try and shoot from the side. Now, really? It can still pen at that angle. That's stupid. So this thing can. That's just unfair. So people won't even be able to side scope.
Threat destroyed.
How is that fair?
Target locked on. Identify target. Hostile PC.
Let's load the high explosive. Is it just high explosive? Or is it high explosive fixed areas? No, it's just high explosive.
Target destroyed.
The high explosive does so much more damage.
Target locked on.
400 damage with 100mm gun. That's 120.
Target eliminated. Target locked. Enemy destroyed.
So what is that's the gun elevation angle, and the gun depression angle is about 10 degrees. Well, that's about 8 degrees, but in one tanks is 400 damage with 100. I think that needs to be changed. Really? Okay, I've never done that before. That's the first time ever I've killed a tank by.
Target locked.
So we didn't pen with that high explosive round, it just kind of penned.
Target down.
It's not the most maneuverable tank in the game, it's actually kind of sluggish actually. And I think that's also the balancing factor. Also for main battle tank, it's actually kind of not that healthy at 1750 hit points. You'd expect it to have about 1900 hit points, but it's actually pretty low at 1750. The turret doesn't turn that quickly, and I do
Identify. Hostile tank. Target locked.
This tank in the game because
Identify target. Hostile tank.
for Armoured Warfare,
Target destroyed.
and it's just been exploded actually with this tank. Not entirely sure if we're going to add in the 5120 or the 50B. They may
Identify.
add them in
Hostile
because they
PC.
have insanely strong guns. I mean, on War Thunder, the AMX 50B or Baguette
Target locked on.
has a insane insane 120mm shot, armor piercing, high explosive ballistic cannon.
Enemy destroyed!
That would also be another cool feature if they add in a new shell type called armor piercing, high explosive ballistic cannon, or APHEBC. That would be interesting. A little bit of realism in the shell.
Target locked on!
Because basically, what APHEBC does is it penetrates the tank, and then it explodes inside the tank, dealing extra damage. So, for example, say because this gun does 320 average damage,
Target locked on!
the shell will pen doing 320 average damage, and then the shell will explode inside the tank doing, I don't know, maybe an extra 150 damage. So that's 470 damage. You just done with one APHEBC shell.
Target destroyed!
All low tier tanks, like from like World War II to Cold War, should have APHEBC. Because modern day tanks do not use APHEBC, they use APFSDS. I think it's really a joke because APFSDS doesn't really have any shrapnel, so we do no damage whatsoever.
Identify target! Hostile tank!
69. The Type 69, I was surprised because that's an insanely big explosive radius. The Type
Taking on water.
is very, very strong.
We're submerged! Move,
The
move!
survivability of this tank is 10 seconds. Normally it's about 5 seconds for every time you this tank is 10 seconds. So that's insane. That's also another factor that I'm a little bit about. It's like, well, I mean, it's got 10-second lifespan in water, insanely strong armor at the front. It's not very maneuverable, but it has an insanely strong wall over it. That's a 7 clip, and I think that is
Target locked.
incredibly unfair for people.
Threat destroyed!
Because you have 13.5 seconds to get over that hill, pump the shot in, and then get back. And probably by then, he's already pumping the first shot into you. And if he takes your track on, you are finished. But I mean, you are completely finished. So, I don't know, is this thing going to be overpowered? I think it's going to be overpowered. I mean, it's just... I know it's sluggish, but at the same time, who cares if it's sluggish? It's got this insanely overpowered autoloader. 9 shots, 9 100mm shots. The high explosive has 37mm pen. The APDS or APFS has 280, sorry. 320 average damage. Pretty nice tank. But I think it's a little bit strong for tier 3. I think it will be perfectly balanced at tier 4. But I think it's probably too strong for tier 3. Just like the Object 279 is too strong for tier 4. It's insanely strong for tier 4 on console. I mean, the Object 279 when I first got it on PC, because I mean, doing co-op missions, it was just bouncing right off my front armor. Even though it's AI, because nobody was playing the PvP. It was just like, why do you even fight against this thing? This thing, there's a little bit of conspiracy going around that Gaijin are going to add this thing. I don't see that happening because this thing is broken. It's designed to survive a nuclear bomb being dropped about like half a mile away. This thing has what, 270mm of frontal hull armor. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with penning that. with normal solid shots, armor piercing ballistic caps, APBC, 300mm a pen. It's a 130mm nuclear round, basically. It takes 10.5 seconds to reload the gun, 908 meters a second. I don't know. So let's go on the chieftain. Hesh is my favourite type of shell. I have to say it right now. Hesh is an absolute gorgeous shell in this game. If you've ever fired Hesh before, not in the American tanks, because the Hesh doesn't really work in the American tanks. They have pretty bad penetration. But if you use the British tanks, the penetration is just wow.
Identify. Hostile tank.
Now this again, very sluggish. Very sluggish. It takes so long to get up to
Identify. Hostile PC.
Which doesn't do when it pays. 600. Well, I'll take that for tier 5.
Target locked. Enemy destroyed.
Now that is actually pretty good for tier 5 actually.
Identify. Hostile PC.
I would say the Hesh is probably a little bit too strong. Small threshold, 265mm of pen, penetration 156. Okay, but did it say it was 210mm of pen?
Target down.
Let's actually have a look at that right now. Because I'm pretty sure it said that the Hesh was 200+mm of penetration. So let's have a look. Yeah, 265mm of pen with Hesh. That's insane. Damage and penetration doesn't depend on the hit angle if the angle is below 75. Bonus damage against thin armor causes additional mortal damage. So this thing, basically what happens is when it hits, like say for example you're up against this tank, or you're up against this tank, you hit here, right here. When you pen, not only do you damage the tank, but the shrapnel from the Hesh goes through the tank, will damage everything around this area, ammo, and let's actually have a look at this right now. Armor calculator. 5. Chieftain Mark 11. Hesh. Yeah, you're gonna mess up this tank real badly. I mean, if you hit here, you're gonna destroy the ammo rack, the turret ring, and the breach. And that's because the Hesh is so incredibly powerful in this 120mm gun. I do like these tanks. I think that the AMX-50 is probably a little bit too powerful at tier 3. Probably needs to be put up to tier 4 or nerfed. Probably have like maybe 1 or 2 shells removed from its autoloader. I think that will probably balance it out. Or pull it up to tier 4, leave its autoloader, leave all the stats alone, pull up to tier 4, it'll be perfectly alright. The new French tanks with the 20mm autocannon, well, I mean, it's like, because basically what happened, I'll just show you how it works. So it's like this. You could either use the autocannon or you could use the main gun. You can't use both, because then that would be stupidly overpowered if you were able to use both. So as you can see at the
Identify target.
You have
Hostile tank.
number 1 for FSDS, number 2 for HE, and number 3, this little bit here, is for my 20mm autocannon. So if I select number 3, loads my autocannon, I'm 60 rounds in the drum. So say you're running up to a scorpion.
Target locked on.
Right. That's most of its health gone. With an autocannon. And this thing has a main cannon as well.
Target's gone. Target locked. Target down.
You can even pen the sides.
No effect. Penetrated.
So I've just shaved off a couple of hit points. Not a lot, but a couple. And this tank is not slow.
Jump in. Identify target. Awesome. Ricochet.
So we go to this shot.
Target locked on.
Because I've got this perk here,
Threat destroyed.
this is like by a bung.
Identify target. Hostile PC.
I'd say that normal video is about 6 seconds. When you've got the perk activated, it's about 5 seconds.
Identify.
So it's a
Hostile
second
tank.
faster. But the thing is quick. It is super quick.
Target down.
So I'm gonna load the AP,
Target locked on.
APDS to my mill again.
Penetrated. No effect. Threat destroyed. Target locked. Penetrated.
That M4 on Bulldog was just turned to absolute juice by this. I again, same problem with the AMX-50. I think this tank is
Identify. Hostile PC.
Tier 4 and that tank. I mean, it would be perfectly alright if it had just the gun.
Penetrated. Threat destroyed.
Because the armor is pretty good as well. I mean, it starts to make me think, well, are these things going to actually break the game? The MX-15 definitely. It's just completely. It's not completely broken, but it's enough to make me worry about new players joining the game, meeting this thing. It might be a shock for their lives when they read it and they think, oh crap, what are we now?
Identify.
So
Hostile tank.
High explosive, see how much damage it actually does. 500 damage with one of
Target locked on.
Thank you.
Target lost. Threat destroyed.
So, yeah, this thing is just, so you can't really compare the sides of American tanks. You could aim for the engine block, because the engine block is just so bloody huge. Just look at that, you just taking out the engine. So, yeah, AMX-40, I mean, I think it's alright at its tier. Just see if they change the stats. If they do, that'd be brilliant. If they don't, well... I mean, I don't know, is it... I don't really know. Wait, is it too strong? Oh, hang on a minute. Wait, were we using the wrong tank? I thought, oh wow, we were using the wrong tank. The AMX-40 is tier 5. So to completely devoid what I said earlier, because that wasn't the AMX-40 that I was using, that was the AMX-13B2 or Brennus 2. Yeah, I'm a bit stupid, really. I was sure that it said AMX-40 up there. I must have been mistaken.
Identify. Hostile tank.
But this thing is...
Target locked on.
And
Target
you see that
lost.
symbol there? It basically means that you can set targets.
Target locked
I
on.
mean, it's not as high as like heights though.
No men. Threat destroyed. Target locked on. Target's gone.
Inside of like an OF40.
Penetrated.
Instead of having high explosive fuels, you have heat secondaries. And your heat actually does a
Identify
lot
target.
of damage.
Hostile PC.
You do have a chance of setting fires, but it's set.
Threat destroyed.
The heat fire damage, so don't be surprised if you set a fire.
Identify target. Hostile PC. Target locked.
That is a huge well, there's that damage.
Target locked.
272, left 1.
Identify. Hostile PC.
Now, if you actually listen to the gun sound, you can notice a little gun sound there. It sounds similar to, like when you expand a few more tanks, it sounds similar. So can we pen and T72 from the front? We can, but not with heat. You're going to have to use APFSDS to successfully pen T72 from the front. Yeah, that's not good. Now, a leopard 1, obviously not pen. Now, what is he going to be like? Now, he is going to be alright, actually.
Up. No bend. Penetrated. No effect. Target down.
Wow. Okay.
Identify.
So,
Hostile PC.
yeah. Basically, this thing is just, stupid.
Penetrated.
A T-72A, because it's not at all. Just use your, normal gun. But, I mean, the MX-40 is, I would say it's balanced at tier 5, but the MX-30B2, because this is a premium, I think it probably needs to be up-tiered. Just like the MX-50 needs to be up-tiered as well. So, try this thing as well, the C13 TUA. No, I have not tried this thing yet, so I don't really know what it's like. Just see how well it is, really. Because it says it's got missiles. It counts 52! 19.
Identify. Hostile tank.
Wow, that's an extreme amount of damage for tier 6. I think that the oh, look at that. That's really cool. That's a cool loading mechanic. I think that because every time somebody sees a swing fire, I think it's called, they scream and they back off because
Identify. Hostile PC. Target locked on. Target eliminated. Target locked on. Threat destroyed.
Wow, so this thing
Identify
just
target.
destroys
Hostile tank.
T5s. But the real test is, can it pen a tier 5 moon battle?
Identify. Hostile tank.
I don't think it would. Let's just try it anyway. It's very quick. Look at that.
Jump in.
No, it's not good. You can pen the low glaciers, but again, it just depends.
Identify target. Hostile tank. Identify. Hostile PC. We're submerged. Move! Identify target. Hostile PC.
So, I mean, I think this could be competition for the swing fire.
Enemy destroyed.
This could be actually a swing
Identify.
fire killer.
Hostile tank.
Because it's incredibly quick for track through. I mean, on dirt and road, it's very quick.
Identify. Hostile tank. Target locked on. Target destroyed.
Yeah, this thing will just this thing will two-shot swing fire. And a swing fire would probably need to take 3 shots to actually
Identify target. Hostile PC.
because this thing is tier 1 tier higher than the swing fire. And it's quicker than the swing fire. It's got more view range than the swing fire. So if we stop here,
Enemy destroyed.
1,000 damage we've just done to that OF-40. He's not having a very good day. So this is a nice tank.
Identify target. Hostile
This
tank.
tank is now been fight vehicle. A very deadly armored fight vehicle.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
But again, like I said with the other tanks,
Target
they're
locked on.
subject to change. They could do anything with it.
They hit us hard.
Wow, we just completely destroyed it. Now, can we pen the front of the T-72? Again, I don't think we can. We can.
No effect.
Oh, no, we don't. That's a lie. No, you lied to us.
Target locked. Target locked.
So, I mean,
Identify target.
it looks
Hostile
like
tank.
a good fit actually, because it looks rusty all the way. How much damage you would do to a show? This is the other one. Same for the last. It's got a very fast reverse speed.
Enemy destroyed.
So what is its reverse speed? So it's about 32 kilometers an hour. Pretty quick for this sort of machine. So it's, you know, I think this could be a very deadly machine in tier 6.
Identify target. Hostile PC. Jump in.
Wow, that didn't even end the side of the T-72. So T-72 could be incredibly difficult to kill.
Identify target. Hostile tank. Target locked.
Oh wow. Okay.
Target's gone. Jump in.
So T-72, yeah, not gonna pin it. So
Identify.
I think you guys
Hostile
watched
tank.
this video. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy this video, give it a thumbs down. Put in the comment section what you think about these two tanks. I personally think that the MS-50 is going to be incredibly strong at tier 3, and I personally think that it needs to be up tiers to tier 4. But other than that, all I can say is thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you have an awesome day. Bye bye.